Hey guys, welcome back to Homesteading Off the Grid. Behind me we have our garden in winter with so much work to be done to prepare it for planting this coming spring. We still have all the old weeds and leftover plants and stalks from this past growing season to be cleared up and cleaned out, and the soil's been packed down. It needs loosened up and aerated. There's so much to do, and I was getting ready to get in there and do it myself, and I thought this is a perfect chance to work smart instead of hard. And so I want to show you what we've done. We are implementing prepping of our garden over the winter by using half of our flock of chickens. Check this out. So instead of bringing a rake and a tiller and shovels to my garden, I'm bringing water and popcorn. Really, that's chicken feed, because check out what we've got going on. My beautiful bride Dearly and our darling son Daniel and myself spent the last 2 days doing this. We made sure to cover up our garlic, which is growing actually quite well. And so all these weeds, all those old tomato stalks, all these green bean vines, all this soil that's been packed down tightly with us walking around on it needs taking care of. So, dun dun dun, I've hired some help. Who have we hired here? Dun dun dun! Our Carolina Rockports, Roger and his 4 girlfriends, who just last night spent the night in their new chicken coop that we put together here by using our old rabbit tractor that we used to drag around to let our rabbits that we used to raise eat grass around the fields throughout the day. So let me let Roger and his girls out for their very first day ever here in their new garden, where they're going to have so much food and so much work to do. And then we'll see how they're adjusting, and I'll explain what we did here with the coop. This is really ingenious, and my son had the best idea. My 7-year-old son had the best idea for their roost. All right, so they came right out. Got them a little bit of grain and water over there to start their day. But I'm sure they're going to be more excited about all the food they're going to find here in our garden spot. But here's what we did, guys. We kept it simple. We are not rocket scientists here. We like to keep things simple. We built this coop out of materials we already had access to, and the majority of this coop was already built. I mentioned to you it was like a free-range rabbit tractor. Okay, this front side was actually the top. If you can imagine, it flipped over and there was nothing on the bottom. That's how the rabbits could get grass. And of course we'd put them in and out of this top flap. All we did is we took a piece of, we stood it up, put it on logs that we cut up for firewood. It's not on this. This was holding down this cut up air mattress we use as a tarp to cover the front here. But then you can open it up during the day like this. But we put it on firewood blocks for support. We simply slid a piece of paneling back there. We did nail it on the posts, and then we wired the wire from the tractor to the actual wire fence that surrounds our garden. And this wire fencing is buried a foot underneath the soil because we did raise rabbits in here for a year, so that kept the rabbits from digging out. So this is very sturdily secured to the fence, and it's very safe from raccoons, possums, and other predators because of that. Now, what we did inside is we kept it simple. Again, we've got a little laying box for them here. We put down some plywood on the bottom with hay on top so that their little feet wouldn't fall through the 2x4 inch wire. That's a little bit too big for their feet. So they're safe. They're not going to fall through the wire. And then we got them a little log here to jump up on their perch. We have a 7-foot long maple post here. There's actually a part of a maple tree, a young maple tree, that got crushed when the big branch from this big giant red oak up here sitting just beneath the moon fell. And that was straight and true, so I knew I'd be able to use it for something. And it turns out we used it as the roost inside this pen. So they're starting to explore a little bit. I got that big fat hen and this little hen starting to walk around. Oh, there's some grass. They love grass. Nice greens. Okay, so we stuck it in here. We saw we could rest it through here. We actually do have a nail going through there on this plywood. We stuck on the end here to keep the wind out of that end of the cage. And we got down here and I thought, well, how are we going to get it to stand up here? I need to get something like a forked stick or something to hold it up. And my 7-year-old son Daniel said, why do that? Just get a piece of rope and tie it here and drop it down from the frame of the cage and just let it dangle. Look at that, 7-year-old kid came up with that idea. And when we put them in here last night, about 20 minutes before dark, so they could spend their first night in here, they just hopped right up there. So anyway, that cost us nothing. I mean, the rabbit tractor we've had sitting over here underneath one of our cedar trees with our canoe resting on it for more than a year. We had all the other materials, so it cost us nothing to do this, and we did it in just a matter of maybe a couple of hours total work time. No problem whatsoever. And now we've got, here's our thinking behind putting all of our rock ports over here. We still have 7 hens over in the old place of various types. We've got 5 astrolops, and then we've got 2 Polish hens. We know animals are social creatures, so you're supposed to make sure that there's at least 2 or more of the same breed together. So we just figured, let's put all the rock ports over here, and in the event that they do procreate, we'll have pure rock port chicks. So not that, you know, that'll happen, but it might, you never know. So they're going to be over here for however long it takes to go through here. Here we've got, this is all old lettuce. There's seed on here, the stalks. Back here were our tomato stalks. We got the tomato guards and cages out of here, and the bulbs that we use to camouflage the tomatoes from the birds. We've got some winter kale growing back here. Not much. It wouldn't really be enough for us anyway, but the chickens are going to love it when they find that. And of course, over here is where we grow a lot of our trees. We have red buds. We planted some walnut trees, chestnut. We got oak trees over here. Got a bunch of oak leaves here where we're making some black gold. The chickens are going to come over here, and they're going to find plenty of green grass still yet. And you know, we're in Central Virginia, Zone 7. It's actually kind of mild here most days in the winter. They're going to have access to a lot of bugs and lots of everything. Find some worms down in here. It might take them a little while to get used to their new environment, but I'm sure by noon today they're going to be running around here eating green grass like crazy. And so we'll keep you updated. Just kind of wanted to give you a little view of what we have going on here. So remember, just because it's winter doesn't mean you can't get out and garden and you can't do all the stuff you like to do. Winter means you've got more time to be more creative because you don't have to worry about growing things and staying on top of any sort of growing season. So get outside, be creative, and see what you can come up with. So I hope you enjoyed another video with us here at Homesteading Off the Grid. I hope you like our idea of using our chickens to prepare this particular garden for the upcoming planting season. If you've got some chickens and you've got a garden, consider implementing the same idea where you are, and we'll see you next time for more.